My name is Parr. I'm 53 years old. My people are the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe people in central Minnesota, as well as the Lapwai Band Nez Perce. I spent most of my years in the 1970s with my brother and sister in the foster system. And so in spending most of my years, my young formative years in the system, I was really blessed in the sense that all of the foster homes that I was in were people of God. They were people who were born again people who knew Christ in a deep way. I grew up hearing the gospel in those homes. I did not know my father at that time. My mom was an alcoholic, and there were a few times when she did gain custody of us back again. It wasn't really for long. She couldn't hold a job, and there were times, actually a couple of years, where we were running from one of her boyfriends. And at an early age, there were things that placed fear in my life. Then in 1981, we had gone to a different foster home. And it was there that they sent me to a summer camp. And at that summer camp, the camp counselor said to us, he said, "The Lord will never leave you, and He will never forsake you." And you see, there's something about the Spirit of God where He has the ability to open up things that maybe you didn't understand or you couldn't understand. And so I had heard the good news of Jesus years before, but it meant nothing to me. But see, God's a personal God, and He cares about what's going on in your life. And so when He said, "I will never leave you and I will never forsake you," that opened my heart. Because see, for years I felt like trash. I felt like I had been thrown out. But then I realized that God really cared about me. And He opened my heart to the point where I knew that I was a sinner. I knew that God was holy. And I knew that I was lost without Him and separated without Him. And so that was when I came to a place of repenting and turning from my sins and my wrongdoings that were separating me from God. I asked Him into my heart and to forgive me. And let me tell you, that night, it was like I had woken up for the first time. It was like everything was new. It's the only way I can explain it is that I'd been asleep all those years before. Now I was finally awake. That night, as we slept under the stars by the lake, I remember looking up into the sky and seeing, it was like the stars were alive and so vivid and so real. And I knew that I had peace with my Creator through Jesus Christ. Eventually, I met my father. Probably a year and a half later, he ended up gaining custody of us. It was one of the greatest days of my life. I eventually moved in with my father and started trying to walk with Jesus, but I had no one to lead me, no one to guide me, no one to teach me. Eventually, I joined a church when I was 19, and it was there that I began to grow in the things and the ways of God and get involved in learning and serving. Eventually, I met my wife in my late 20s, and the Lord sent us to East Africa, to Rwanda. That was a place where they were recovering at that time from a genocide, where one tribe tried to exterminate another tribe. There were so many parallels between African cultures and our culture as Native people, as well as history. And it was at that time where I realized that our people, our Native people, there's hope in Jesus for us, because I could see how Jesus was bringing reconciliation and forgiveness and healing to the Rwandan peoples. And that's what I want so much for our people as well in Christ. Currently, I pastor a church called Vineland Native American Chapel on our home reservation here at Mille Lacs in Minnesota. And we're teaching each other how to walk in Christ, what that means. In Kichimanidu as Creator, we've learned really that He is the God of the living Word. He is the God of the heavenly book. We've found really what we've been looking for, and that's grace, and that's forgiveness and goodness in Him. God bless you.